if this is the end for Messi, he will finish as one of the most decorated World Cup players of all time. No one has played in more World Cup matches or had more goal contributions than Lionel Messi. And he is the only man to start in 3 different FIFA World Cup finals.
Take me back when you won in 2022 and you held that trophy up and you were on the shoulders of your teammates. What was going through your mind? Cuando ganaste la Copa Mundial, ¿qué estaba pensando?
Well, everything I went through and everything I did to achieve that, it was the dream of my life. And it all came to mind, everything I went through to get there. My family, my people, and Argentina.
Messi, who grew up in Rosario, Argentina, was a soccer prodigy, recruited to play in Spain as a teenager.
But if this is the end for Messi, he will finish as one of the most decorated World Cup players of all time.
You think that was a sign?
Well, I'm of the belief that God always decides and does everything. And at that moment, he had that prepared for me.
Was it a tough decision to make, to say yes?
Honestly, it wasn't. I've always said that I base my decision on how I feel day to day and how I feel physically and mentally to continue playing and to continue being part of this club.
And he still has some unfinished business.
What's tougher, winning a World Cup or getting soccer to be one of the largest, most premier sports in the United States?
Well, I think that growing soccer in the United States is possible. I think it's time to do it. I think the United States is going to be spectacular.
It sounds like something the greatest player in the world would not want to miss. Are you going to play in the World Cup?
Well, the truth is that yes, it's something extraordinary to be able to be in a World Cup. And I would like to be there, to feel well and to be an important part of helping my national team if I am there. And I'm going to assess that on a day-to-day basis when I start preseason next year with Inter and see if I can really be 100%. I'm really eager because it's a World Cup. We're coming off winning the last World Cup, and being able to defend it on the field again is spectacular because it's always a dream to play with the national team, especially in official competitions. So hopefully God will allow me to do it once again.
Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley, Steve McManaman and Frank Leboeuf. In one of the worst World Cup finals we have ever seen, Spain, in the end, deservedly get the victory and defeat Argentina. It was Ferran Torres' well-taken goal that proved to be the difference between the two sides. Look at that right-hand column. 2 shots from Argentina, none in regular time. Both of those came in extra time. Enzo Fernandez sent off. Spain with the victory as they lift the title and get a 2nd star on their shirt. We're supposed to be objective on this show, but I don't think anyone, unless you're an Argentina supporter, will be more pleased than what we saw Spain lifting the World Cup, because, goodness me, that was embarrassing from the defending champions, wasn't it?
I'd go as far as to say Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today.
Leo, quiero agradecerte, Leo. Te quiero, gracias, Leo.
Go as far as to say Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today.
How about Messi? What are the right things to say about him? I think going into the day yesterday, there was a feeling that it was going to be a coronation, that this was going to be the moment where he cemented it, where he put to rest any possible debate that he's the greatest of all time. And obviously that's not the way the day went. What are the right things to say about his run?
Let me just say that if you needed another World Cup title for Messi to put that debate to bed, you're probably in the wrong sport. You don't appreciate the sport for what it is. I think that's been put to bed. Messi right now is in a realm where we have to open up the conversation of where he is amongst the world's greatest athletes in the history of sports. That is where Messi is. About the history of this game, it's put to bed in my eyes. Nothing is by coincidence. Yesterday, the brand that sponsors Messi put out a commercial where he's leaving one cleat, his 6th, on the ground. That's 6 World Cups. This looks like the end for the world's greatest player at the international stage in World Cups. You saw him yesterday emotionally, what he was like. He was distraught. If this is the end, it's only a gracias, thank you, Messi, because what he's done for the game. We're talking about over 2 decades of greatness, not 2 decades of hanging around, greatness. He was battling out for the leading goal scorer of this tournament with 39 years of age. It clearly is something that we've never seen before.
Absolutely.
We expected the antics. We expected the thuggery. We expected the off-the-ball stuff. But we also expected a lot more on the ball. A lot more purpose, a lot more about their play. They were an utter shambles. They were disgusting, disgraceful. They were going to get a scruffy goal, Argentina, and win this. And Spain tried. They tried to make it a good game. They tried to get over the line. Their finishing wasn't quite great. Martinez made a lot of saves, but they were comfortable saves.
Awful, awful.
But we know Argentina are not the greatest side they've ever been, but to put that kind of performance in a World Cup final, that negative, it was a disgusting performance.
Was the worst of the worst? No, we found worse. This one.
Yeah, I concur with everybody. I hated the Argentina performance. There's this thing where they'll do anything to get a victory. You know, they'll try tricks and the dark arts, etc., etc. We've heard it and heard it and heard it, but it's a really bad image for them, isn't it? You know, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. You're talking about arguably the greatest player in the world. Yeah, his teammates act as if, they're not interested in football. They just want to do anything else apart from win a football match. They'll just do it by fair means or foul. They'll kick, they'll punch, they'll drag, they'll dive, they'll do anything. I mean, we went crazy over Paraguay's performance against France. That was worse. That was awful today. And as you said, in the biggest game in the world, the eyes of the nation, the eyes of the whole universe looking at this game, and you're subjected to that, where, as you said, if you're a neutral, all you're praying for is, you know what, I hope Spain score.
Yeah.
I hope Spain score, and then let's finish this game and get over with. And then after the end of the game, we're all sitting there going, I bet you Argentina caused chaos after the game. I bet you they're going to be pushing and pulling and fighting. And of course, that's happened as well, off camera, and it's just, I mean, I'm glad the result's gone.
Yeah.
Argentina were awful. And I thought their performance today was terrible. And I hope they're lambasted for it. In Argentina, they'll probably go down as warriors, as heroes, etc., etc. But that type of performance is not becoming of a team like that. No.
I know it's New York or New Jersey in this instance.
New York, New Jersey.
New York, New Jersey.
New Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
But I think it typified FIFA wanted the game here. They played in the worst stadium, probably out the lot, on the worst pitch, at a terrible time, really, for the US here, but not, it was maybe better for around the world at 3 o'clock. Yeah. But there was much better arenas during this World Cup that they could have, they should have known beforehand that would have been more conducive to a better atmosphere and a better game of football. Now, Argentina might have spoiled that still, but the pitch as well didn't help the Spanish who tried to play. So they got that wrong, albeit it's New York, so I get that. But I think there's a lot of people out there that do think FIFA wanted Argentina to win this thing. Infantino wanted a story. He wanted Messi to go back to back, and people have been doing stuff on social media and all that, and sort of laughing about it, half joking and half serious, and that's kind of how it felt at times. But I liked what they did in terms of not the way they played. I liked, and I said this in the show before the final, I liked the guts and coming back in the fighting, and yeah, a lot of it was on England and other teams. I liked how they had that spirit and that quality in the last 20 minutes of games, and that's why I felt that we were going to see some of a similar ilk today. But we just saw the complete opposite. If you thought England were negative for 35 minutes and Thomas Tuchel got battered for them going out, they were negative for until, the last 10 minutes of extra time. It was awful. 90-odd minutes of normal time plus injury time of complete negativity.
100th minute was the first shot.
It was awful.
Players that have won World Cups and won Champions Leagues and playing all over Europe, most of them, on huge salaries, because they're playing at the top teams, not muster one effort in, what did you say, 100 minutes?
100 minutes.
Not one effort in a World Cup final, not even from 25 yards, not even speculative, nothing. Crossing the box ahead, nothing. And those players, and Enzo Fernandez, he's another disgrace. He's not got a brain in his head. He's on a yellow card and he jumps in and he complains, the usual. It's everybody else's fault. No, it's your fault.
And on top of it, he wanted to see the review when he doesn't even know the rules.
Review for a second yellow card.
Yeah, it's stupid.